Dr. Kyrathon pressed her 6 crystalline eyes against the glowing screen. The numbers did not make sense. For 3 days, strange signals had been coming from the Sol system. This was impossible, because Sol 3 was supposed to be dead. The Galactic Federation had marked that planet as extinct 868,000 years ago. The species called humans had destroyed themselves with wars and pollution. Every Federation textbook said so. Yet here were organized radio waves, mathematical patterns, and structured data coming from their old world. "Computer, verify the source," she commanded in her musical voice. Source confirmed. Sol system, 3rd planet, signal strength increasing. Kyrathon's crystalline body shimmered with worry. She had spent 50 years studying dead civilizations. Never had she seen anything like this. The signals were too complex, too organized to be natural phenomena. Someone or something was alive on that dead world. The Federation Council would never approve an investigation. They had strict rules about visiting extinct worlds. But Kyrathon could not ignore what she was seeing. Against all orders, she gathered a small crew and prepared her research ship. "You are crazy," said Zafara, her energy-based navigator. "That world has been dead for almost 1,000,000 years. "Maybe," Kyrathon replied, programming the jump coordinates. But dead worlds do not send mathematical sequences. The journey took 6 days through folded space. When they dropped out of hyperspace near Sol 3, the entire crew gasped. The planet glowed with soft blue and green light. Massive structures covered the continents like living cities. The oceans moved in perfect geometric patterns. Even the atmosphere sparkled with flowing data streams. "This is not the dead world from our records," whispered Morkov. The methane-breathing engineer Kyrathon activated all sensors. What she found amazed her. The planet was not just alive, it was more alive than any world the Federation had ever discovered. Every square meter pulsed with organized activity. The continents themselves seemed to breathe. The weather moved. In mathematical spirals, the very air carried information. "Scan for life signs," she ordered. Scanning, ... "Doctor, I am reading billions of complex life forms. But they are unlike anything in our database. They appear to be part organic, part technological." Kyrathon stared at the readings. This changed everything. Humanity had not died out. It had transformed into something completely new. The Federation had been wrong for nearly 1,000,000 years. A new signal reached their ship. This one was different, a welcome message in perfect Federation standard language. "Greetings, travelers from distant stars. We have been expecting you. Please follow the guidance beacons to the reception area. We mean no harm." The voice was warm and friendly, but it carried strange harmonics that made Kyrathon's crystals vibrate. Whoever was speaking was not using vocal cords. They were somehow transmitting thoughts directly into sound waves. "Should we respond?" asked Zephyra nervously. "We have come this far," Kyrathon decided. "Let us see what humanity has become." Glowing paths appeared in space, leading toward the planet's surface. The ship followed them down through atmosphere that felt alive with electricity. They passed through layers of organized light that scanned their vessel gently but thoroughly. The landing area was unlike anything in Federation space. The ground was soft but strong, made of materials that seemed part metal and part living tissue. Structures grew from the earth like plants, but their surfaces showed complex technological patterns as they prepared to disembark. Kyrathon noticed something extraordinary. The landing pad was adjusting itself to accommodate their ship perfectly. The atmosphere around them was being modified to match their breathing requirements. Even the gravity was being adjusted for their comfort. "They are adapting their world to welcome us," she realized. This level of control over matter and energy should be impossible. The airlock opened with a soft hiss. The air outside was clean and fresh, carrying scents of growing things mixed with the ozone smell of advanced technology. As they stepped onto the living ground, a figure approached them. It was humanoid in basic shape, but unlike any human in the Federation records. 7 feet tall, its body flowed between organic tissue and metallic surfaces. Its eyes glowed with inner light, and when it moved, the ground beneath responded as if it were part of the same organism. "Welcome to New Terra," the being said, its voice carrying the harmonics of many minds speaking as one. "I am Hyenwu, and I speak for the collective consciousness of our world. We have been watching your Federation for many centuries, waiting for the right moment to make contact." Carathon's translation matrix struggled with the complexity of the communication. The being was not just speaking words, it was transmitting layers of meaning through quantum frequencies, emotional resonance, and pure mathematical concepts all at once. "You are human?" she managed to ask. "We are what humanity chose to become when faced with extinction," Hyenwu replied. "Rather than die or flee, we chose to merge with our world and our technology. We became one with our planet while keeping our individual minds. We are many, but we are also one." The research team looked around in wonder. They had discovered something that would change the galaxy forever. Humanity had not perished. They had evolved beyond anything that Federation had imagined possible. The walls around them began to shift and change. Dr. Carathon watched in amazement as the metal surface rippled like water, then formed into the shape of a tall figure. The being that emerged was unlike anything in Federation records. Its body seemed to be made of both living flesh and flowing metal that moved together perfectly. "Welcome, travelers from distant stars," the figure said. Its voice was strange, not one voice, but many voices, speaking in perfect harmony. "I am Hyenwu, and I speak for all who live on New Terra. We have been waiting for you to come." Carathon's translation device worked hard to understand the communication. This was not normal speech. Being was sending thoughts, emotions, and complex mathematical ideas all at the same time. Her crystalline mind struggled to process so much information at once. "Are you human?" she asked, her voice shaking with wonder. "We are what humans became," Hyenwu answered. His form became more solid, more like the humans from old Federation records. Long ago, our ancestors faced a choice. They could leave their dying world, fight each other for what remained, or try something completely new. They chose to merge with their planet and their machines. The research ship was guided toward a docking area that grew from the ground like a living plant. As they walked off their vessel, the crew found themselves in corridors that pulsed with life. The walls were warm to the touch and seemed to breathe. Information flowed through the air like visible streams of light. "This is Yunji," Hyenwu said, pointing to another figure that stepped out of the wall. "She takes care of the mind networks across the Asian continent. And here is Taiman, who works with our matter reconstruction systems." Each human they met looked different, but Carathon's sensors showed they were all connected. Invisible networks linked their minds across the entire planet. They had achieved something the Federation had only dreamed of, many minds working as one, while still being individuals. "How many of you exist?" Carathon asked. 12 billion individual minds, Yunji replied. Her body shimmered with flowing data. "But we are also one consciousness. We chose to work together instead of fighting. Your Federation splits the galaxy into separate territories. We became our world, and our world became us." The visitors were led deeper into the living structure. The floors felt soft under their feet, but were stronger than any Federation material. Plants grew directly from the walls, but their leaves showed complex technological patterns. Everything was alive, yet everything was also a machine. "Your ancestors merged with machines?" Zafira asked, her energy form flickering with curiosity. "Not just machines," Taiman explained. "We merged with our entire planet. Yes. Every tree, every ocean, every mountain became part of us. We learned to control matter. At the smallest level, we can reshape our world with thought alone." To demonstrate, Taiman gestured toward a blank wall. The surface began to change, forming into a beautiful garden with flowers that sparkled like jewels. Real water flowed in tiny streams, and the air filled with the scent of growing things. Then, with another gesture, it all flowed back into a smooth wall. "Impossible," whispered Morkov, his methane-breathing apparatus fogging with excitement. "Matter cannot be controlled so easily." "Your science is still young," Yunji said kindly. We have had nearly 1,000,000 years to learn. We discovered that consciousness itself can influence the basic building blocks of reality. When 12 billion minds work together, we can accomplish what seems impossible. They were shown through vast chambers where humans worked with flowing matter, shaping it into new forms with their combined will. Some areas contained beings that looked more machine than human, while others held forms that seemed made of pure energy. Yet all were connected. All were part of the same planetary consciousness. Do you still have individual thoughts? Carathon asked. Of course, Hanwu smiled. I am still me, with my own memories and preferences. But I am also connected to every other mind on this world. We share knowledge instantly. We feel each other's emotions. We work together without conflict because we understand each other completely. A new human emerged from the floor, a young woman whose body seemed to be made of crystallized light. Hey, Manesio, she said. I was born only 50 years ago, but I carry the memories of all who came before. We do not die as other species. When our bodies wear out, our consciousness merges with the planetary mind. We become part of the eternal memory of our world. The Federation visitors realized they were witnessing something unprecedented. These humans had solved the basic problems that plagued all intelligent species: death, conflict, resource scarcity, and isolation. They had become something beyond what evolution alone could produce. Your Federation fights wars over planets and resources, Yunji observed. We learned that the greatest resource is consciousness itself. When minds work together instead of competing, anything becomes possible. As they toured the living city, Kairathon began to understand the true magnitude of what humanity had accomplished. They had not just survived extinction, they had transcended the limitations that bound all other species. The galaxy was about to discover that humans had become something far more powerful than anyone had imagined. The massive Federation warships dropped out of hyperspace, with weapons charged and shields raised. Admiral Zorkith commanded the most powerful battle fleet in the galaxy. His crystalline body glowed with anger as he stared at the readings from Earth. The reports seemed impossible, but his sensors confirmed that the dead planet was somehow alive again. This is Admiral Zorkith of the Galactic Federation. He broadcast toward Earth. You will provide immediate proof of your claims or face the consequences. No species can possess the power you describe. The response came from a human who appeared as a shimmering hologram on the bridge. She was tall and graceful, with long black hair that seemed to flow like liquid metal. Her eyes held the depth of ancient wisdom. I am so Haiyan, she said calmly. I speak for humanity in this moment. You wish to see what we can do? Very well. Watch and learn. She gestured toward the empty space beyond the fleet. In the distance, a small moon orbited the 7th planet of the Sol system. It was a dead rock, airless and cold, like billions of others scattered across the galaxy. Observe that moon, Sohian said. In your records, it is listed as barren and worthless. We'll show you what we consider worthless. The Federation officers pressed against their viewing screens. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, the moon began to change. Its gray surface started to shift and flow like thick liquid. Mountains rose from flat plains. Deep valleys carved themselves into the landscape. The dead rock was reshaping itself. This is impossible, Admiral Zorkith muttered. Matter cannot be manipulated on such a scale. But the transformation continued. Thin atmosphere began to form around the moon, growing thicker by the minute. Water vapor condensed into clouds that swirled in perfect patterns. Lightning danced between the clouds, but it moved in mathematical spirals that defied natural physics. Within 2 hours, the first oceans appeared. They were not the blue of Earth's ancient seas, but gleaming silver that reflected the distant sun like polished metal. The water moved in geometric patterns that created waves exactly 1 meter high across the entire surface. The molecular structure is stable, reported the fleet's science officer. They are creating matter from pure energy. This should require more power than our entire fleet possesses. Mountains grew taller, reaching toward the new sky. Rivers carved perfect paths between peaks that arranged themselves in golden ratio proportions. Forests began to sprout, but these were not ordinary trees. They grew with purple leaves that glowed softly in the dim light, and their branches formed complex geometric patterns. "How are they doing this?" whispered one of the junior officers. Sohain smiled. "We learned to work with the basic forces of reality. Your science still thinks matter and energy are separate things. We discovered they are different forms of the same essence. When enough minds work together, we can reshape that essence into anything we choose." The moon's transformation accelerated. Cities rose from the purple forests, but they were not built. They grew like living things. The buildings sang in harmonious frequencies that could be heard even in the vacuum of space. Each structure was perfectly designed for its purpose, and all fit together like pieces of a vast puzzle. 3 different climate zones appeared on the small world. One area remained cool and misty, perfect for the crystal formations that grew. There, another became warm and humid, where strange plants with silver flowers bloomed. The third zone was moderate, where the singing cities reached toward the stars. "The ecosystem is completely balanced," the science officer reported, amazement in his voice. "Every life form has been designed to support the others. There's no waste, no conflict, no imbalance. It is perfect." Admiral Zorkith stared at the readings. "This violates every law of physics we know. Matter cannot be created from nothing. Its energy cannot be converted so efficiently." A new figure appeared on the bridge, a young man with kind eyes and a gentle smile. "I am Minho," he said. "Your physics are not wrong, Admiral. They're simply incomplete. We have had nearly 1,000,000 years to expand our understanding." He held out his hand, and something began to form in his palm. It was a flower, a perfect red rose with delicate petals and a sweet fragrance. But this was not just any flower. The molecular scanners showed it was identical to roses that had grown on Earth 1,000,000 years ago. "This is impossible," the Admiral breathed. "That genetic pattern was lost when Earth supposedly died." "We remember everything," Minho said softly. "Every flower that ever bloomed, every song that was ever sung, every moment of joy or sorrow. From our ancestors, we are the living memory of our species. Carry the past with us always." The rose floated through the air and landed gently on the Admiral's command console. Its scent filled the bridge with memories of ancient Earth gardens. "Could travel faster than light without ships," Minho continued. "Could create entire star systems if we wished. We could remake the galaxy itself. We choose to use our power carefully. We learned that true strength comes not from what you can destroy, but from what you can create." The Admiral looked at the transformed moon, then at the simple rose. Both were impossible, yet both were real. The galaxy was about to change forever. Dr. Carathon stood in the middle of what had once been the Amazon rainforest. But now it was something completely different. Glowing pathways stretched as far as her 6 eyes could see, pulsing with information that flowed like rivers of light. The trees were still there, but they were no longer just trees. They were part of a vast network that connected every living thing on the planet. "This is incredible," she whispered, her crystalline body shimmering with excitement. "Your entire world is one massive thinking machine." Sujin, their human guide, smiled as she touched one of the glowing trees.
"It is much
"More than that, every single atom on Earth has been carefully placed to help support consciousness. The oceans you see are not just water, they are processing centers. The air you breathe carries data streams, and even the rocks beneath your feet are part of our collective mind." The Federation science team had been studying New Terra for 3 weeks now. Each day brought new discoveries that challenged everything they thought they knew about the limits of life and technology. They had found neural pathways that stretched from the frozen Arctic to the hot Antarctic, carrying thoughts and memories across the entire planet. "How is this possible?" asked Dr. Kirathon. "Our greatest computers cannot process information on this scale. We learned to merge organic and artificial intelligence," Sujin explained. "Your machines are separate from your minds. Our technology became part of us, and we became part of it. The planet itself is our body, and we are its consciousness. As they walked through the living forest, the scientists saw wonders that seemed impossible. Trees that grew in perfect mathematical spirals, flowers that bloomed in response to human thoughts, rivers that flowed uphill when needed, defying gravity. Through precise manipulation of space-time, we have solved many problems that trouble your Federation, Sujin continued. We can travel faster than light by folding space around us. We can turn consciousness into pure energy and back again. We can even slow down or speed up time in small areas. To demonstrate, she gestured toward a small clearing. The air shimmered, and suddenly everything in that space began moving very slowly. A falling leaf took minutes to drift down. A bird flying through the area appeared frozen in mid-flight. Then, with another gesture, time returned to normal. Itself bends to our will, Sujin said. It can experience 1,000 years in a single moment, or stretch 1 second into an hour. This is how we learned so much in what seems like a short time. Dr. Kyrathon's translation device struggled to process the implications. Why did you not contact the Federation earlier? We could have learned from each other. It's an older human materialized. From the living ground nearby, his form was more solid than the others, and his eyes held the depth of centuries. I am Jaehoon, he said. I was among the first to merge with our world long ago. We did not contact you because we needed to understand what we had become first. The revelation that followed shocked the Federation delegation. Humanity had not been hiding in ignorance. They had been watching the galaxy for 200,000 years through invisible probes, smaller than atoms. They knew about every world, every species, every war that had ever taken place in Federation space. We have seen your civilizations rise and fall, Jaehoon continued. We watched as species fought over planets and resources. We observed the formation of your Federation and the countless conflicts that followed. We learned from your mistakes, so we would not repeat them. The Federation scientists realized they had been studied like specimens in a laboratory. Every diplomatic meeting, every scientific discovery, every military conflict had been observed by invisible human watchers. The thought was both terrifying and humbling. We chose a different path than your species, Jaehoon explained. While others spread across many star systems, we decided to go deeper into a single world. We transformed our planet into something that had never existed before. We became gardeners of consciousness itself. Sujin led them to a vast chamber deep underground. The walls pulsed with soft light, and the air hummed with the sound of billions of minds thinking together. This is the core of our planetary consciousness, she said. Here we store the memories and experiences of every human who has ever lived. We are immortal not because our bodies do not age, but because our minds become part of the eternal memory of our world. The chamber contained floating spheres of light, each one representing a human consciousness. Some were ancient, dating back to the original merger. Others were new, born just days ago. All were connected in a web of shared experience and knowledge. When we die, we do not truly die, Jaehoon said. Our individual consciousness merges with the planetary mind. We become part of something greater while still maintaining our unique identity. Death is just another form of transformation. Dr. Kyrathon stared at the floating lights, each one representing a mind that had transcended the limitations of biological existence. You have achieved true immortality, she breathed. Have achieved something more valuable, Sujin replied. We have learned to grow beyond the conflicts that destroy other species. We are ready to share this wisdom with the galaxy, if others are willing to listen. The great council chamber of the Galactic Federation buzzed with angry voices. Representatives from 17 different species argued loudly about what to do with humanity. The discovery of New Terra had split the galaxy into two camps. Neither side was willing to compromise. General Morkith, of the Corvin Empire, slammed his massive fist on the speaking platform. His reptilian scales glowed red with fury. These humans are dangerous. They have been spying on us for thousands of years. They have power we cannot understand or control. We must destroy them before they destroy us. Half the council chamber erupted in agreement. The Corvins had always been warriors, and many other species followed their lead. They saw humanity's abilities as a threat that needed to be eliminated quickly. But Elder Veltara of the ancient Veltar rose slowly from her crystalline seat. Her body had lived for over 10,000 years, and her wisdom was respected throughout the galaxy. "You speak from fear, not wisdom," she said, her voice ringing like music. "These humans offer us knowledge beyond our dreams. They have moved beyond the need for war and conquest. Why should we fear those who wish to teach us?" The debate continued for months. Every day brought new arguments, new fears, and new hopes. Some species wanted to attack Earth immediately. Others wanted to learn from humanity's peaceful transformation. The galaxy had never been so divided. Finally, a message came from Newterra. The transmission filled the entire council chamber with a warm, harmonious voice that seemed to speak directly to each being's heart. "I am Suben," the voice said. "Speak for all of humanity in this moment. We have listened to your debates and understand your fears. We offer you a choice that our ancestors never received." The holographic image of Subin appeared in the center of the chamber. She was young-looking, but her eyes held the wisdom of ages. When she spoke, her words carried the weight of billions of minds working together. "We can share our knowledge with you," she continued. "We can teach you how to transfer consciousness, how to manipulate matter, how to travel faster than light. But only if you are willing to change how your civilization works. We will not help species that seek to conquer others." Many council members shouted in anger. They wanted humanity's power, but did not want to change their ways. General Morketh stood again, his voice full of rage. "You cannot make demands of us. We are the Galactic Federation. We have ruled the stars for thousands of years." Suben smiled sadly. "We are not making demands. We are offering a choice. Watch and see what cooperation can accomplish." The transmission ended, but within days, something amazing happened. 3. Dead worlds in Federation space began to change. These planets had been destroyed by war, pollution, and strip mining. They were lifeless rocks that served as reminders of the cost of conflict, but now they bloomed with new life. Barren soil became fertile earth. Poisoned water ran clean and clear. Dead forests grew again with trees that sang in the wind. The atmosphere cleared, revealing blue skies that had not been seen for centuries. "This is impossible," whispered Dr. Karathan, who had been monitoring the transformations. "They're healing entire worlds from across the galaxy. The energy required should be beyond any civilization's capability." Subin's voice returned to the council chamber. "We have moved beyond the need for resources, territory, or traditional power. We offer to become teachers and healers for the galaxy. But we will not arm those who would repeat the mistakes that nearly destroyed us." The final vote was scheduled for the next day. The chamber was packed with representatives from every known species. The tension was so thick it could be felt by even the most peaceful beings. Elder Veltara spoke first. "I have lived for 10,000 years. I have seen species rise and fall, civilizations bloom and wither. Never have I seen beings offer such gifts with no expectation of reward. We would be fools to reject this opportunity." Morketh disagreed. "They are too powerful. If we accept their help, we become dependent on them. They will control us without firing a single shot." The debate continued for hours, but gradually, wisdom began to prevail. The older species remembered the cost of endless wars. The younger ones saw the potential for growth and learning. When the vote was finally called, peace won by a narrow margin. The Federation dissolved itself that day and reformed as the Galactic Collective. Species would maintain their unique cultures and identities, but they would share knowledge and resources freely. Humanity would serve as teachers and guides, helping other civilizations avoid the destructive paths that had nearly claimed them. But humanity's greatest gift was still to come. Dayun, a human who specialized in consciousness research, made an announcement that stunned the galaxy. "We have been working on a special project," she explained. "We learned to reach across space. In time to contact beings at the moment of death, can offer them a choice to pass on naturally or to continue existing as part of our collective consciousness." The implications were staggering. Death itself was no longer the end. Consciousness could be preserved, shared, and allowed to grow in new ways. The galaxy was entering an age where the mind itself became the final frontier. Humanity, once written off as extinct, had become the shepherds of galactic consciousness. They had proven that true strength came not from conquest, but from patience, wisdom, and the willingness to share knowledge with others.